This is Mr. Taylor's Day 4 Equation of a Line Notes.
Hey guys, and welcome back. So we're going to get started. You should be on day 4 of your note packet. We're going to be up here on page 9. First question is, what is the standard form of a line? Hopefully you remember that it's y equals mx plus b. As a reminder, what does m stand for? M is going to be our slope, and then the b stands for our y-intercept. Okay, with that in mind, let's take a second and see if we can figure out the equation of this line right here. Quickest thing to figure out, I think, is going to be our y-intercept. So if we look on our y-axis, it intersects right here, which is going to be -1. If we take our slope, we find two nice points. There's a point, and there's a nice point as well. My rise is going to be -1, and my run is going to be 2. So my slope for this ends up being -1/2. So when we go to write the equation, we replace m and b in our original, and we'll get y equals -1/2 x minus 1. So that'd be the equation for that graph. Now we're going to talk about how we can get the equation of a line if you're just given one point and the slope. We're going to use what's called, really weird, I know, point-slope form. So y, you're going to keep the same. y1 is going to be the y value of a point. M stays true. It's going to be our slope. And then the x we're going to keep, and our x1 is going to be the x value of the point. Now the key here is just making sure that this y value and this x value come from the same point. Alright, so you're going to plug them in here. So if we look at this first question, what is the equation of a line that passes through the point 5, -4, and has a slope of 3? So if we take a look at that, when we talk about having the slope of 3 and pass through that point, all we need to do is plug it into this equation. So the y is going to stay the same, minus -4, remember anytime we're substituting we're going to use those parentheses, equals, my m is 3, and then x minus my x value, which is 5. So take a second, just make sure you see where all of those points came from. This -4 is coming from right here. Our slope 3 is coming from our slope 3. Our 5 here is coming from our x value 5 here. Now all we're going to do is simplify this, and we're going to end up back in y equals mx plus b form, which would make it so we can graph it pretty easily. First thing I'm going to start off doing, I'm just going to distribute my 3 here. Another thing we're going to look at, anytime we have these negatives right here, that's really like saying a positive. So if I go to rewrite this, it'd really be y plus 4 equals 3 times x is 3x. 3 times a -5 is -15. Okay? Just one more step to here. We got to get this 4 out of here. So we'll minus the 4 from both sides. Again, remember to make sure you take the 4 from the 15. These aren't like terms. We can't do that. This doesn't have an x. So we're going to do them there. We get y equals 3x, and -15 minus 4 is going to give us -19. If you take a look, we're in y equals mx plus b form. Our y-intercept would be -19. Our slope would be 3. So we start with this equation up here, and we're going to end with our y equals mx plus b form. Let's do one more together, and then we'll take a second, and you guys will pause the video and do your own. So we need the equation of a line that passes through the points -2, 5, and it's going to have a slope of -2. So again, we're going to start off, I'm going to put it right at the top of my paper so I make sure I have it. Y minus my1 equals x times x minus x1. Let's go ahead and plug into that. The y stays, minus my first y value is 5, equals my m, or my slope, which in this case is going to be my -2, and then x minus negative 2, because that's this x value here. So again, we talked about this in the last one. I have this right here, which is really going to be a plus. So if we go ahead and start doing this, we're going to distribute. We have y minus 5 equals negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 2 is, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. And then there's only one step left. We have to get rid of this minus 5. So we're going to add 5 on both sides. We get y equals negative 2x plus 1. So take a second now, pause the video, and go down. Try the last 4 on this page all on your own, and that's going to be it for today. Good to see you back. I hope you were pretty successful here. So let's go through. I'm going to run through them and plug them back in pretty quickly. And then you guys should be all set to do day 4 and day 5 homework. This is going to set you up for both. So you want this equation. So again, just running through it quickly. Minus 3 equals 4 times x minus 2. Alright, I'm going to start with my distributing. So you get y minus 3 equals 4x minus 8. And then we're going to add 3 to both sides. Y equals 4x minus 5. So that's what you should have had for the second one. So not too bad. We'll keep running right through this. We'll have you guys out of here in just a minute. Now, write the equation of the line that passes through this. The problem with this one is you don't have a point anymore. Or sorry, you don't have the slope anymore. But that's okay. If we plug into what we talked about in day 2 about finding the slope, this isn't going to be a problem. 2 and 1, 5 and 10. So to get from 2 to 5 is 3. To get from 1 to 10 is 9. This means my slope, or my n, equals 9 over 3. We can make our lives really simple because 9 divided by 3 is actually 3. So we have a point, we have a slope, let's do this. Y minus. Now I'm going to pick this point to use. So anytime I plug in my y or my x, I'm going to use just that one point. So we have y minus 1 equals my slope, which is 3, times x minus 2. We're good to go here. Let's go ahead and solve that. 3 times x would be 3x. 3 times negative 2 would be negative 6. And then we're going to add the 1 to both sides. Get y equals 3x minus 5. Okay, if you had a little trouble and you needed to restart the video to get this one, take just a quick second and pause it and try the second one now, but I'm just going to keep going. So again, I'm going to write this out, negative 2, 10, 4, negative 20. So to get from negative 2 to 4 is 6. To get from 10 to negative 20 would be negative 30. So that means my slope, or my m, is negative 30, over 6, which is the same thing as saying negative 5. So we're good to go. I'm going to use this first point when I'm plugging in. So y minus 10 equals my slope, which is negative 5, times x, and it's minus negative 2. So again, I got to remember that's a plus. So we have our y minus 10. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And then we're going to add 10 on both sides. Y equals negative 5x. These cancel out. I'm all set there. Alright, one more. So same thing, we're going to start. Let's set up our slope. 6 to 8, 1, negative 2. Get from 6 to 1 is going to be negative 5. To get from 8 to negative 2 is going to be negative 10. So our slope is negative 10 over negative 5. Which they reduce, negative divided by negative will be a positive, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we got our slope, we got our y's. I'm going to take this point, they're both positive. I just think that makes my life a lot easier. Y minus 8 equals our slope, which is 2 times x minus 6. And let's finish solving this guy.